Welcome, my beautiful people, to today's 35-minute yoga fusion. Weights are optional as always. So let's go ahead and meet ourselves right on our mat. Finding movements that really just express the way that your body is feeling. Maybe a few sun salutations to warm up the body. Maybe just a few forward folds. But whatever it is that your body is absolutely longing for, let's learn to honor that always. And whenever you're ready, we will eventually make our way into half pigeon. So this half pigeon can be done in a modification, or it can be done in the fullest expression. Navigating through any tension stored in the hips, any tension stored in the neck and the shoulders, and just surrendering with each breath out. So with this class ahead of us, we're going to be focusing on the control of our bodies and our breath. Not rushing to get in and out of poses. Not feeling as if we should be somewhere deeper than where we are. But really allowing ourselves to be mindful within the process throughout the practice. And this is what's nice about having this virtual platform. If there's something that we don't quite understand, we're able to hit pause and kind of review that movement or that transition on our own and then get right back into it. We'll start to fold into our half pigeon on a deeper level if the body allows us. Taking some deep breaths in and out, in and out. And then we're going to end up making our way out of our half pigeon, taking the hands underneath the shoulders and elevating the heart center. And then slowly bend the elbows back toward the hips, lower it all the way down, and then press it up like you're rolling it up. And exhale, guide it back down, push into the palms, inhale, roll it up, lift the head last. We'll do one more, slowly take it down, bending the arms, and then push down. Inhale, find some length in the spine, push into the palms. We're going to make our way into a little twisted lizard here and then just drop to the left hip. We're going to find a seated twist facing the back of the room, hooking the left elbow to the right knee. Grounding down into the left palm, pressing and lengthening through the spine. Take a really big breath in. So we know what this is. It's a seated twist. We're just entering it from a different direction. And then keeping your left hand down, we're going to find a flip dog. So both legs will bend. And then push down into the feet, lift the hips, arch the spine. I know it's early here, but just do what you can, being very mindful. And then we're going to drop the hips down to the floor slowly. And then root down through the hand and through the feet. Inhale, reach everything back up, flip dog. We're going to do that 2 more times. So with control, slowly drop the hips. And then slowly reach as we press back into our flip dog. Last one, slowly with control, protect the shoulder, drop. And then we're going to come back to the top of our mat, finding half pigeon on the other side. And just working your way through this, right? So we don't have to forward fold immediately. You don't have to forward fold at all. Maybe you choose to stay upright and on the palms for some support. Know that the forearms are always an option, as well as a block underneath the head. And if you're used to the same sensation in this pose, I always encourage you to explore a little deeper. So trying to create just a brand new sensation and being able to sit with that discomfort. Notice the difference between pain and discomfort always. And then slowly begin to walk the hands back under the shoulders, elevating the heart. We're going to set up for our 3 rounds of push-ups. So on your next exhale, bend the elbows, chaturanga until the forehead meets the mat. And then inhale, push down, roll up, lift the gaze. 2 more times on your own. And last one, push down, inhale, lift up. And then we're just going to kind of come into that little twisted pigeon or twisted lizard until we can sit down on our right hip. And then we're going to find that twist. So right elbow hooks to the outside of the left knee, left palm down to the ground, and just take your gaze over that left shoulder. So your left foot is close to the right leg. And we're just facing the back of the room with our chest, regardless of the twist, just a different direction here. Left hand stays grounded. Inhale, reach up, flip your dog. And then exhale, slowly drop the hips down, slice the arm. Inhale, reach it all the way back up. And then last one, exhale, drop. Inhale, take it all the way up, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the legs. And then slowly take a seat. Crawl back to the top of your mat, and we're going to find a high plank. Lower all the way down very slowly, dropping the knees if you need to. And then you can interlace the fingers for a bind, taking a variation of up dog, or you can airplane the arms. And then inhale, swim the arms forward, lift the legs, lift the thighs, lift the kneecaps. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Pedal out, make the movements that are necessary to meet the tension of your body and whatever it is that needs to be worked out. We're going to come into a turbo dog, but the knees are going to splay outward so the hips are wide. And then inhale, shoot to high plank. And then exhale, press into that wide-legged turbo dog. Inhale, press to high plank. And then exhale, sink the hips, drop the knees, turbo dog. Inhale to plank, back and forth on your own. So this doesn't need to be fast. It doesn't need to really be explosive, but this is to be strong and powerful. So we're pressing the ground away through these transitions and also when we're in different poses. Now step the right foot to the outer right hand, lizard. And then step back, wide-legged turbo dog. Inhale, high plank, left foot steps to outer left hand, lizard. And then press back, wide-legged turbo dog. Inhale, plank, step the right foot to the outside of the hand, lizard. Step it back, turbo dog. Inhale, left foot steps to the outer left hand, lizard. Back to turbo dog. And again, on your own, think of the movement and the opening up that's happening within the hips, and also the strength within the core and within the shoulders and the arms. Soft bend in the knees. And then find lizard on the right side, pressing down into the left hand. Extend the right arm forward, hovering the chest. Drop the left knee and then send the hips back. We're going to forward fold over the right leg as it straightens. Lengthening through the spine, gripping the mat with the fingertips. Take a big breath in. And then as you fold, try to inch your chin to your shin. You can flex the toes to the face. You can point them toward the top of your mat. And then inhale, lunge back into that lizard pose. Step the right foot back, downward facing dog. And then step left foot to the left hand lizard on the other side. We're going to do the same thing. So drive the left arm out in front of you. And then with control, drop the right knee, send the hips back, straighten the left leg as you fold. A couple deep rounds of breath here, especially tapping into that Ujjayi breathing if the tension is very intense. So we want to be able to control the breath and to be able to hold ourselves in these poses. Come back to lizard, reach the arm forward. Step into high plank, lower the hand, and then slowly lower chaturanga, first one of the practice. Big breath into up dog, and then roll it on back, downward facing dog as the hips lift high, the chest collapses toward the thighs, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, right leg high. Firming up the muscles, grounding into the palms and into the left foot. Bend the right knee. Let's open up the hip. Finding a deep stretch in the thigh and in the groin. Heel to the left glute. And then hug the knee to the nose. Let's step it through. Pick up your weights. You're going to bring them to the heart center first. And then elevate up into a crescent lunge. Hands are going to stay at heart. Find your balance and the strength within the legs. And lowering the arms down, palms face forward. Let's come into bicep curls. So think about gluing the elbows tight to the ribs or to the hips and contracting as we bring the knuckles up to the shoulders. So we're only moving the forearms, and the way that we do this is by using our bicep muscle. So try not to yank or jerk the weight up really fast. Do it slowly and controlled. It's not about the repetition. It's about the intention behind the movement and doing this the correct way so it's safe. Big breath out as we curl knuckles toward the shoulders. Hands to heart, and then step into a wide-legged squat. Back to crescent. Reach up, shoulder press, hands to heart, wide-legged squat, top of the mat. Step back to crescent, push the hands up, shoulder press. And then we'll just repeat this. So back into that wide-legged squat, back to crescent, shoulder press, wide-legged squat. Use the feet to press down, step back into crescent, exhale the hands up, hands into heart. Last one, squat, crescent, push the weights up. Hands to heart, let's land in our squat. So driving our weight down, and then inhale, press all the weight up, lifting onto our toes, sink back down. Inhale, come all the way up onto the toes, control, sink back down. Do this 3 more times on your own. Weights can stay tight to the chest. So going down as low as you can, dropping your butt down to your heels, and then pushing down through the feet as we lift all the way up. Come onto the toes, and then for extra balance, maybe you can lift the weights up overhead. Lower completely, forward fold. Lengthen for a flat back. And then fold, releasing tension in the low back. You could sway side to side if you'd like, but we're going to make our way into a chaturanga, lowering halfway down. And then inhale the heart up, gaze up if you'd like, downward facing dog. So let's do the other side. Left leg lifts, anchoring down through the palms and the back foot. bend the knee, open up the hip. Good, finding a deep stretch there as we stay grounded. And then slowly round it out, step the foot in between the palms, grab the weights, find your balance, and we'll just lift up, hands toward the heart. And this time we're gonna set up for hammer curl. So palms are gonna face inward, and on the exhale, you're gonna curl the dumbbell up toward the shoulder. Big breath out, extend the arms down. Keep the elbows tucked in nice and tight toward the sides. Big breath out. Fingers toward the shoulders. Big breath in, lengthen and extend the arms back down toward the hips. Just on your own, a few more rounds. Keeping a soft bend in the back leg, but contracting the leg muscles as well. So creating a really strong foundation to help support you and to help you stay balanced. And then exhale, we're gonna step into that wide-legged squat at the top of the mat and then step back into crescent. Exhale, shoulder press. Hands to heart, step into wide-legged squat, back into crescent, shoulder press. Doing this 3 more times, sitting low in the squat, pressing into the feet, back to crescent. Exhale, shoulder press. Step back into your squat, then to crescent. Nice and slow, so no rush here. And we're gonna do 1 more. Press up, hands to heart, back into that low squat. Drive into the heels, into the hips, come all the way up onto the toes. Exhale, sink low, push down, come all the way back up. Hands can stay at heart. Sink down into your squat, come up. 2 more. So focusing on the calves when we come into those raises onto the toes. Last one. Come all the way up onto the toes and then see if you can push the weights up overhead, keeping the heels away from the earth. Slowly lower down, forward fold, release. Sway side to side. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. And then push into the palms, step it back, high plank. Chaturanga on the breath out. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And then we'll find high plank. We're gonna do some shoulder taps. So once you find high plank, tap the right fingers to the left shoulder and then crunch right knee, right elbow, turbo dog. And then left fingers tap the right shoulder, left knee crunches to left elbow, turbo dog. High plank, right fingers, left shoulder, right knee, right elbow, turbo dog. Left fingers, right shoulder, left knee, left elbow, turbo dog. So go ahead and do this on your own. You can always take a moment and watch the video if you're a little confused. I had a pretty difficult time trying to explain this to you. So once you see it, you should be right on track. And again, we're not going fast. We're going slow with control. We're keeping the shoulders strong and stable once we shift into that high plank and move on from there. So we're grounding down into the fingers, the palms, we're using the core, we're using the strength of our legs. And really making sure we're getting that deep crunch, the knee toward the elbow without yanking it or moving out of intention. So just continue to do this on your own for a few more rounds, really pressing back into that deep turbo dog squat. And then shoot into a high plank, lower halfway or all the way down. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up nice and high. Bring the knee toward the belly, then to the face. Step it through as you round it out. Find the weights in your hands and let's lift up for a crescent warrior. Big breath out as we press the dumbbells up overhead. Let's just notice what it feels like to be here with the weights and the static hold. And then thunderbolt, hover the belly over the thigh. Face the palms to the back of the mat and bow the elbows out like wings. We're gonna do wide armed upright rows. Keeping strong legs, making sure that we're not jerking the elbows up, but just kind of pausing once we exhale and pull the dumbbells up and the elbows point out. And then lower the arms down on the inhale, exhale, row. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, row. Shoulders are strong, really ground out through the front foot and the ball of the back foot. Now we're going to hold here in our wide arm row, and we're going to shift into warrior 3, still holding the arm placement. Let's pulse the left leg slowly with control. Keep engaging the tricep, the biceps, and the shoulders, and keep lifting the elbows up. Try not to let the weight fall down. Lower back. Exhale, press into crescent lunge. We're going to step to the top of the mat, find chair pose with bicep curls. So palms are going to face inward. We're returning back to those hammer curls. Drive your weight down into your feet. Sink your hips down to the heels and curl up. Spine is nice and long. Try not to round. Try not to hunch over. Energy through the crown of the head. Energy through the heels. And just a couple more. Sit low into your chair. Maybe lift onto the toes if you want to explore a little deeper. And then exhale, lower the heels, forward fold completely. Surrender over the legs. Inhale, lengthen, flat back. And then find chaturanga. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg and then slowly step it through. Grab the weights, press into the feet and lift up. Big breath out. Press the weights overhead for crescent warrior, shoulders down the back. And same thing, let's hover over the front thigh for thunderbolt. This time, palms face the legs. We're going to do regular back rows. So big breath out, just bend the elbows as they lift up behind you, trying not to lift them up too high. Controlling the arm muscles as well as the back. Grounding down through the feet. Keeping the crown of the head and the spine aligned. And we'll hold it on the exhale. Shift forward into warrior 3. Keep holding the placement of the arms. Engage the muscles and flex the back leg as you pulse it up and down. Take your time. You don't have to move fast. Good. Chair pose. Drop down into your seat. Face the palms forward. Exhale, curl up. So again, focusing on the muscles of the biceps. Try to stay grounded. We don't want to feel like we're going to tip over. Breathe out through the mouth if that helps you. So every time we curl up, we take a big breath out. And then come up to standing. Take a wide-legged squat like we're coming into temple, and then goal post the arms. Toes out, heels in, sink the butt low. Take a breath in, and then exhale, straighten the legs, press up. Inhale, sink back down, goal post. Exhale, straighten the legs, press up. Inhale, sink low, goal post. We're going to do this a couple more times. Keeping the head, the neck, the shoulders, the spine, and the hips stacked on top of each other. Driving down and through to the feet. Exhale, press off and lift. Inhale, sink low. Exhale, press down, lift up. We're going to hold here, and then we're going to crunch elbow to thigh. So you're using the core as you come back up through the midline. So big breath out, core squeezes, elbow to thigh, lift up and sink. On your own, continue to find a rhythm. And then we'll press everything up, forward, fold, send the weights out in front of you. And just surrender. Sway side to side, rock into the hips. You're more than welcome to do a chaturanga, or you can find downward facing dog. Find a high plank, shoulders over wrists, and then walk one hand out, then the other, and then walk the hands back underneath. Walk the hands out, walk them under the shoulders. So the hips will kind of stay in the same place. You're gonna try not to teeter back and forth. You are gonna rock just a little bit, but try to remain in control of the movement so your body can stay active and strong. So we're just walking out and then walking back into that plank pose. Just a couple more on your own. Keep breathing. And stretch it out, downward facing dog. Big breath out. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to drop to the knees. We're going to go through this next part slowly. So we're going to find a modified crescent lunge. Right leg steps forward. Lower the left knee under the left hip. Right hand grabs the weight, push it up overhead and extend the left arm out parallel to the floor. Lower your left hand to the mat and then extend your left leg all the way out in front of you. Wild thing. Right leg stays the same this whole time. And then bring the left knee back down, crescent lunge. Make that little L with your arms. Left hand lowers back down. Extend the left leg out, keep it straight, wild thing. Right arm stays right up overhead. Come back into that modified crescent, create the L within the arms. One more time. Right or left hand down. Extend the left leg out, bridge the hips, lift up. Come back to that crescent. Good. So the right hand with the weight stays up overhead the entire time. That is the control of this little portion. So let's do it on the other side. Modified crescent. Right knee down under the right hip, left knee or left leg steps out. Reach the left arm up overhead and the right arm out like a wing. Lower the right hand and kick the right leg through, wild thing. Left arm stays. Drop down into that crescent lunge. Make an L with the arms. Let's do it again. So the left leg stays. Lower the right hand, extend the right leg out, wild thing, bridge up. Lower down into that crescent lunge, modified. Last one. Lower the right hand down. Extend the right leg all the way out to the top of the mat. Wild thing. Drop it down. Modified crescent. Come on up. Lower the weight. And we're just going to make our way into a child's pose. Slowly make your way into a forearm plank. From our forearm plank, we're going to do some toe taps. So right leg extends out, then back to the middle, and then left leg extends out, and then back to the middle. And then you'll extend one arm out in front of you, come back to the forearm, then the opposite arm out in front of you, back to the forearm. And then you're going to repeat the process. Tapping those right toes out, then the left. Come back to the middle, extend one arm out, then the other, coming back to forearm plank, and we're just switching up. So we're really doing one limb at a time. We're always coming back to forearm plank in order to start the process over. Try not to lift the hips all the way up. We're not in dolphin, we're not in down dog. Try to keep the hips aligned with the ribs. Forearm plank, push down, lift out of the shoulders, and then drop right into Sphinx or Seal pose. Your choice. See if you can roll your shoulders away from the chest, taking the gaze up slightly. Grounding down through the lower part of the body, and maybe even drawing chin to chest. And then we'll slowly exit, finding downward facing dog. Lift the right leg high. We're going to bring the right ankle on top of the left thigh, almost like we were coming into a one-legged chair. And just press your chest toward your legs, knee away from the armpit. And then inhale to high plank and see if you can come into side plank with this variation with our legs. If this doesn't work, you can find something a little more accommodating. But keep pushing the knee away from the floor. And then exhale to high plank, downward facing dog. Let's try the other side. Inhale the left leg up. Bring the ankle, set it on top of the right thigh, and then draw the chest toward the legs, lifting the butt bones up high. Knee away from the armpit. Inhale, high plank, and transition into side plank with the bind. And then slowly lower the left hand back down to the mat. Release the foot down, press it back. Let's do it again. So right leg up, cross it one more time, ankle on top of opposite thigh, and then walk the palms all the way back toward the feet, finding a forward fold over the legs. Now you can play around here. You can keep your fingers down, or you can start to come up into a one-legged chair. So there's other things you can do. You can grab the knee with the right arm, the foot with the left arm, and straighten all the way up as you cradle the leg into the chest. Or you can lower the hands, bring the triceps up against the shin, shift forward for a flying crow, or just a one-legged crow. Release, walk it out. Unthread the leg, downward facing dog. Left leg high. Ankle to the top of that right knee. Walk it back as you press the hands into the mat. Your choice here. Perhaps you find that one-legged chair. Pressing the knee down toward the earth. Maybe you cradle the legs within the forearms and the elbows. You can straighten the right leg, come all the way up to standing as you cradle. Or you can shift forward, finding that one-legged chair or that one-legged crow or flying crow. Release, walk it out, unravel, last chaturanga. Downward facing dog. Dropping to the knees, wiggling out the body, shifting the hips, perhaps some cow-cats if you will. We're just going to make our way to a seated position, coming onto the spine. And then when you're ready, setting up for bridge pose, pressing into the feet, the back, lifting the hips high. Take a big breath in as you squeeze. Lower the butt down and then shoot the hips and the legs up over the belly and then come right back down into bridge. So this works the core. Lower the butt, engage nice and slowly, elevate the butt and the legs. Bridge pose, do it again. Drop down, elevate, control back into bridge. Slowly lower, squeeze, engaging the core, lifting the hips up. Bridge pose. We'll do this a couple more times on our own. So just grounding down through the parts of the body that stay on the floor. Squeezing the muscles as you elevate the butt, the hips, and the legs up over the chest. And then squeezing when you come right back into that bridge pose. It's finding just a little bit of momentum, but it's more about the core and being controlled. So take your time with this. And then we'll land in Supta Baddha, a nice gentle hip opener. Soles of the feet come together. You could take the arms up overhead or out nice and wide. And whenever you're ready, we'll make our way into a supine twist, any variation of choice. Allowing the breath to retreat back to a normal pattern. Closing down the eyes or focusing your gaze at one object. Bringing recognition to anything that just needs to flee the heart, to flee the mind. Anything that just isn't really resonating with you in this moment. And as we find stillness in our final pose of surrender, just allow yourself to wash away any worries, to smooth over any tension with a few final deep rounds of breath, melting the body into a shape where the mind can find stillness and just a little space to breathe.